Sit down. We're in the middle of a vote. The ayes have it. First, a party vote's been called for.
Mr. Speaker.
A party vote has been called for. There's a process here.
Pāti Māori.
E ono ngā pōti e whakahe. Kawana!
No, don't do that.
Ka whakamanu whiti a koe au! Kamate,
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Friday, November 15th, 2024. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. That's the mantra of the Inspired live stream. Thank you for joining us on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And I'm standing, proudly today with my beautiful Maori sisters and brothers, all our friends in New Zealand, Australia, down under. What a fantastic display of the human spirit we saw yesterday in the New Zealand Parliament. I teared up multiple times watching this. And it is not so much what the politics of the day was. It is not so much what this young warrior was protesting in the moment, as it is a much, much bigger picture. And that's what I saw, when I watched this over and over. I can tell you, I fell asleep last night with this chant, kamate, kamate. It was just echoing in my mind like it was reverberating through the universe, this young warrior's chant. I want to give you a little bit of background here, my friends, as to what happened. So we saw this young Maori warrior who's the youngest MP in Parliament, Hana Rawahidi Kairairiki, and I'm sure I'm butchering this. I apologize, but Maori is not my first language, as you might imagine. Maipi Clark, she was born in 2002, really young warrior, 22 years old, is a New Zealand politician representing the Pāti Māori as a member of Parliament since the 2023 New Zealand general election. Yesterday, on November 14th, 2024, Maipi Clark protested a bill in New Zealand's parliament that would reinterpret a treaty between the Maori and the Crown. She protested by tearing up a copy of the treaty principles bill in half during its first reading in parliament while leading the haka kamate. And you might have seen this haka, the kamate, the war chant, the war haka. Oftentimes, by the sports teams, the rugby teams, I've been watching this, an incredibly deep, meaningful haka, and there's many of those, a display of the strength, the power, the history, the traditions, the beauty of the human spirit, and the resolve. I mean, just it is a spiritual experience watching it. Kamate is a traditional Maori haka, a ceremonial dance or challenge composed around 1820 by Te Rauparaha, the chief of the Ngāti Toa tribe in New Zealand. This haka celebrates Te Rauparaha's escape from pursuing enemies, symbolizing the triumph of life over death. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into all of this. But before, I'm before I tell you what I really felt and what I'm feeling and why I think this is sort of like the shot being heard around the world, because the world media picked this up, and sometimes that can mean a nefarious thing, sometimes that can mean a good thing. I don't think that the world media knows just what they picked up yesterday. So let me play you this one more time. The haka kamate, this traditional dance and chant with deep, deep meaning by this young warrior yesterday during the session in the New Zealand Parliament. Let's watch this again together.
Sit down. We're in the middle of a vote. The ayes have it. First, a party vote's been called for.
Mr. Speaker,
A party vote has been called for. There's a process here.
Pāti Māori.
e ono ngā pōti e whakahe. Kawana!
No, don't do that.
Whakakamanu whiti a keu! Kamate, kamate,
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bell.
Of course, they suspended the House. The House doesn't know what to do with that. So now I want to dive into the bigger picture here and how this pertains to you and me. No matter where you are in the world, whether you're somewhere in Asia, somewhere in New Zealand, whether you are in Europe, in Africa, in America, it does not really matter. This is something else at work here. And for that, we have to paint a big picture. The world is divided yet again over religions or religious belief systems. It is divided yet again over left or right, woke or conservative, over a million little boxes, and the division gets deeper and deeper. And what I felt from this young Maori woman, a courageous warrior, that she is for sure, was the human spirit shining through. And that human spirit is the one thing and the only thing that will allow us to triumph, because, and here's the important key message, what we're battling against, and this is so beautifully delivered by our dear friend Greg Braden. You'll see the interview very, very soon, our most recent conversation with Greg. What we're battling against is not a white, a black, a even Jewish or Christian or Muslim force, but it is a non-human force. It is a battle that is spiritual in nature and that has taken all kinds of forms. And here's the thing. As a European of European descent, and if you look in the mirror today and your skin looks somewhat like mine, there's a very good chance that you're of European descent too. Our people, on average, generally speaking, throughout the European continent, the white people were the first ones to lose touch with their true heritage, with their indigenousness. We're not seen as indigenous people anymore. When we think of indigenous people, we think of tribal people, we think of native people, we think of the Aboriginal people, we think of all other peoples, but we don't think of ourselves. We were the first ones to be disconnected from truth and wisdom, from heritage, and from a greater connection. And because we were the first ones, we in some ways, because we were removed from it very early, we in some ways helped perpetuate the removal of others from it. today we're all in the same boat as, as the late Russell Means, the Lakota elder, has said, welcome to the reservation. We now all live on the reservation. And we have to finally acknowledge that the force that we're battling against isn't us. It isn't, yes, there is a part of us that has assimilated to that force, but it isn't white or black or of any particular religion. That force uses all of these divisions. So, what I heard yesterday in this war chant and in this display of the human spirit, of an incredible amount of energy moving through that young woman, this young warrior, what I felt was a reminder that the human spirit will triumph over all of this. And today, that is the spirit that we have to unite in and find a way to overcome the madness that we're presented with every day and to unite in the spirit. And for that, we also have to acknowledge that we all are, in one way, shape, or form, warriors. And we have to be during this time because we are in the ultimate battle. In the ultimate battle that's happening right now all around us. You can pretend it's not happening. You can make yourself believe it's not happening, and you can close your eyes, and that doesn't change a thing because it is happening. And it is now happening not just out in politics, not just in the economy, not just on the battlefields of the world. It is happening in every household. It is happening in every marriage. It is happening everywhere. This battle knows no boundaries. It knows no countries. It knows no religions. It is everywhere. And so the spirit, the human spirit, can be embodied in the spirit of a warrior if it's done correctly. And so we have to remind ourselves of some very important principles. And I do not care what religion what religion you belong to, what ethnicity you belong to. It doesn't matter, because the qualities that I'm about to share with you that I think we all need to embody during this time are applicable for everywhere. And we will soon realize that all of these artificial divisions have been only created to keep us fragmented and apart from each other, so we do not unite. Because once we do, in the human spirit, embodying the qualities of true warriors, once we do, this game is over. So this young, beautiful Maori warrior yesterday reminded us of this, and I don't know if she was aware while she was doing it what all was moving through her, but there was some greatness moving through her. And because of the fast-pacedness of this information world, that's a beautiful thing. This spirit was displayed on millions of screens yesterday and will be over the following days, and millions of people will feel something just like you and I have felt something watching this. And what we have felt, if we really tune in, is something that is dormant within all of us, and it's time to be ignited. So let's talk about these qualities here. The warrior principles. Courage. And I want you really to feel this all the way through. A warrior faces fear, but does not allow it to dominate their actions. Courage is the willingness to stand up for what is right, even when the odds are against them. And I want to say one thing again about this display. I do not know the ins and outs of New Zealand politics. I do know in general from my research that New Zealand as a nation has very much complied with the UN Agenda 2030, has very much played ball with the entire COVID restrictions, and has had some very autocratic tendencies over the last years. I do know that. I don't know the particulars. I don't know, other than the protection of the Maori people and their heritage and their culture, what this young lady stands for. So I'm not advocating for or against her politics. I am aligning with her human spirit. I'm aligning with the warrior in her that that through this display was showing there's a much greater power at work here that cannot be diminished or extinguished by passing laws, black ink on white paper, and by perpetuating the insanity that has been going on in this realm for so long. That's what I stand with. And that requires courage. This young woman displayed great courage, discipline. A warrior cultivates self-control, mastering their impulses, emotions, and actions. Discipline is the foundation for skill, growth, and the ability to endure hardship. Honor. What an important word. Warriors act with integrity and a sense of justice. Their word is their bond, and they strive to uphold their principles even when no one is watching. Honor. Even when no one is watching. How many people do you know that live like that? It is time for these values to be fully ignited within us. We have, even if we think that we have been battling for a long time, we would be true in that assessment. But what is in front of us is the finale. And then the finale, when it comes, that is the most intense part. So it is important that we are at our very best, the best possible version of ourselves. And these warrior principles, they really matter deeply. Service. A true warrior fights not for selfish gain, but to protect and uplift others. Their strength is rooted in their commitment to the greater good. Something that is often overlooked in our individualism, individual expression, freedom, that is the foundation for it. But how can I be free if all others are not? And how can freedom be lived if it is only in a limited way? So the greater good in this sense is a service to freedom of all, for all. Strength, physical, mental, and spiritual. Warriors own both their bodies and minds and spirits, by the way. Physical training ensures readiness, while mental resilience allows them to adapt and preserve. Awareness. Warriors maintain a heightened sense of awareness, understanding their environment, their opponents, and themselves. This awareness leads to decisive and effective action. Humility. Despite their strength and skill, warriors remain humble, recognizing that they are part of something greater than themselves. They are lifelong students, always seeking to improve. What an incredibly important quality, humility. The moment that you think you know it all, you can do it all, you are about to fall off this high horse, and to know that we're students and seekers, and that we are constantly becoming, that we're moving into the wholeness of who we are rather than that we're already in it. We're moving into it. Responsibility. A warrior accepts full responsibility for their choices, actions, and consequences. They do not blame others, but instead seek solutions. Incredibly important responsibility. Compassion. Warriors understand the value of mercy and empathy. While they can be fierce, they recognize the humanity in others and strive for peace whenever possible. This is also very important. A true warrior's character, their true virtue, is not so much seen during the battle. It is when they're confronted with an inferior enemy. It's when they have the strength to eradicate, to absolutely extinguish the opponent, that they can see the humanity in the other and have mercy. If we are indeed battling against humans, sure, that you, as a warrior, that you have the ability to have mercy even when you don't have to, or when no one is looking. Perseverance. Warriors never give up. Now listen to me. I'll say this again. Warriors never give up, even in the face of overwhelming odds. They embrace challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and more capable. Loyalty. Warriors are loyal to their values, their community, and those they serve. They build trust through their actions and steadfast commitment. First and foremost, a warrior must be loyal to their values, especially when no one is looking. Adaptability. A warrior must be fluid, adapting to changing circumstances without losing sight of their goals. Flexibility ensures survival and success, especially in an ever-changing, fast-paced world. And legacy, not the kind of legacy of self-importance, but warriors think beyond themselves, striving to leave a positive impact on the world, the people around them. They are mindful of the lessons and examples they pass on to future generations. And here's the important thing. The warriors with the highest virtue and skill levels rarely ever have to go to battle. In the physical sense, perhaps in some way, shape, or form, for some of us, that will be necessary. And when the call comes, we will answer it. But the truth is that a warrior has a million ways to be effective and efficient. And battle is the last resort. If it happens, it will be fought with all the courage and the virtue that's necessary. Will be brought to completion, and triumph will be the result of it. But we have a million ways to be warriors. And we have to be. And here's a message. For you inverted, psychopathic, insane, mad, dark forces who are unable or unwilling to see the errors of your ways, to see the inevitability of your demise. You have no idea what you're battling with. You have no idea what you are about to face. It is not too late to repent. What does repentance mean? Not in a religious way. To change your mind, to change your heart, to see the error of your ways and change your heart and change your mind. It is not too late. It is never too late. But you are about to face the awakening of the spirit warriors. And it will be unlike anything you have ever seen. And this is inevitable. Let's watch this again. I think we can't get enough of this young woman here for today.
Sit down. We're in the middle of a vote. The ayes have it. First, a party vote's been called for.
Mr. Speaker.
A party vote has been called for. There's a process here.
Pāti Māori.
E ono ngā pōti e whakahe. Kawana!
No, don't do that.
Whakakamanu whiti a keu! Kamate, kamate,
Kamate, kamate. It's powerful. It really is, my friends. The last thing I'm going to say for today. There is a difference between a warrior and a mercenary. A warrior always fights with love. Every battle, the ones on the battlefield or the other ones that are happening in other fields, it's with love for the virtues, for the values, for the people, for the family, for the kin, for the community. It's never with hatred against the opponent, ever. And that is the difference. The mercenary fights with hate against whoever they are commissioned and paid to fight against. The warrior fights with love and in love. It's the difference of the ages. Makes all the difference in the world. All right, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us. You know we love you. We appreciate you, and we will be back with you again very, very soon.
Right now, you could be only a few clicks away from experiencing something amazing, something that has changed thousands of lives all over the world. I'm talking about a high consciousness field similar to those at pilgrimage sites and sacred places. It's where people go to heal, to connect, and to become the best possible version of themselves. With FLFE, you can bring such a high consciousness field into your home right now. It's a spiritual quantum technology based on the work of Nikola Tesla. Better sleep, more energy, greater well-being, improved finances, electrosmog mitigation. These are only some of the things people on the FLFE service are experiencing. Try it now for 15 days completely free of charge, no credit card needed. Just click on a link down below to start your free, no strings attached FLFE trial right now.